After spending 17 years behind bars, a man wrongly convicted of murder is finally free. When he was 20 years old, a jury convicted Obie Anthony of shooting a man to death in South Los Angeles.
The whole time, Anthony maintained his innocence. Now, as he approaches 40, he's a free man thanks to the help of some local law students.
Anthony's legal team proved to a judge that there was never any physical evidence connecting him to this murder and that the prosecution's main witness lied on the stand. Well, tonight, their hard work is paying off, and right about now, Anthony's at a Roscoe's having dinner, and he's very much looking forward to having a really good night's sleep in a comfy hotel room.
Don't move.
Obie Anthony, surrounded by family, friends, and his legal team, walked out of a downtown jail a free man. He's been waiting for this day for 17 years.
Happy, excited, nervous.
An LA County Superior Court judge threw out his 1995 murder conviction last Friday after a Loyola Law School professor and her team of students with Project for the Innocent convinced a judge Anthony was innocent.
Really all the prosecution had was the testimony of a pimp of a whorehouse who didn't even see the shooting.
Anthony and his friend Reggie Cole were convicted of gunning down a Mexican immigrant in front of a South LA brothel. Then, more than 15 years later, Anthony's legal team discovered the prosecution's main witness, who was the owner of the brothel, had testified in exchange for a light sentence for pimping and pandering.
That his eyewitness IDs at the trial were more based upon police suggestion than what he actually had seen.
Cole's conviction was also overturned. He was released a few months ago. We witnessed Cole and Anthony, now 36, reunite. The last time they hugged like this, they were only 19. Anthony now plans to help with the Innocence Project and give back to the men and women who gave him this new lease on life.
And I love you. We love you. To show you how much I appreciate you.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to I've Been Falsely Accused, Part 16. I'm your host, Cogee. My man, Mr. Jeffrey Deskovic. He won't be here with us today, everybody, but he sends his love. He sends his blessings. He's got a college paper that he has to do today. Jeffrey is definitely moving forward. So is Mr. Obie. You know, Obie Anthony, he got some college stuff he has to do today. So, you know, everybody's making, Obie's making a sacrifice to be in with us today to make sure that our listeners get this great information that he's going to share with us. And Jeffrey couldn't be here today, unfortunately, but we got a lot of love for Jeffrey, and Jeffrey sends his love out to everybody, and he definitely wants everybody to move forward. Definitely take notes. Contact us if y'all got anything going on. And, you know, like I said, we do this show out of love, and we do this show because we really do care about our listeners. So, Victor, are you still with me?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, how you doing today, Victor?
I'm good. How are you doing?
All right. I appreciate you, Victor, calling in again. And we got Mr. Obie Anthony. He'll be in a minute. And he's definitely a good person to ask some information from. So when he come on today, you know, what we going to do, me and Obie definitely going to take people to school. And, you know, Obie's going to answer a lot of questions that he can answer. And I guess if he can't answer them, you know, he has resources that can answer that. So, you know, you in good hands on the show. Okay. All right. So what I want to do real quick, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come right back. We're going to get Mr. Obie Anthony in, but I definitely want to celebrate all the women who definitely stay down for their men, and definitely, you know, when they men are in jail and they going through it, and these women, you know, they prison wives, you know, prison girlfriends, prison fiancés, you know what I'm saying? They definitely hold on. The ones that truly hold on and love their men and definitely fighting to get them back home to the family structure and to their children. This song is for you. So, Obie, I'm definitely putting this song out there for your wife, man, and how she stayed down with you. And, you know, anybody else who rode with you 100%. We'll be right back, everybody. Hey, we back, everybody. I'm your host, Cogee. Welcome back to I've Been Falsely Accused, Part 16. And we definitely bringing it today. We got great guests today. And we got my man, Mr. Obie Anthony, who's ready to be in with us in just a second. Jay, give him the red carpet and let's bring Obie right in.
Definitely. Obie Anthony spent 17 long years in prison for a murder he did not commit in South Los Angeles. A judge overturned Anthony's conviction, saying the case was tainted by a dishonest witness and a prosecutor who broke the rules. Mr. Anthony had been exonerated and able to walk out of prison due in large part to the work of legal volunteers working for the Project for the Innocent team at Loyola Law School and the Northern California Innocence Project at Santa Clara University School of Law. We want to welcome back Obie Anthony to the I've Been Falsely Accused show.
My brother from another mother. How you doing?
Man, thank you, Cogee. Thank you to your audience for having me back again, man. I'm doing fine, man. Been preparing for this finals I got in front of me today. But other than that, everything is going copacetic.
I hear you, man. Definitely. Obie, okay, you got to hear the song. How important is that song and what it was saying in that song for a person that's behind those bars, man, that, is breaking down and losing hope? Just trying to hold on to keep fighting.
Man, that song right there hit it on the nose in a lot of ways, man, because it spoke about a lot of stuff, man. You don't want to be alone, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In no shape, form, or another, whether that's alone because you don't have no family members around or alone because you have family members around but you don't have a significant other around, and so you're alone in that manner, you know what I mean?
That's right.
So that was important right there. Hit the nail on the head.
I hear you. Now, you know what, Obie, before we even start this interview, who are some of the people you would like to thank, man, for your success right now in the things that you're doing, but also the ones that stuck by you, man, and said, you know what, I don't care what nobody say. I know you personally. I know you didn't do that.
Yeah, man. First off, I've always give glory and praise to the Creator, man, and all that He has accomplished for me. And at the same time, I give thanks, and I give thanks to those individuals who supported me. My grandmother, who's still by my side, 110%, and didn't give up, still by me. My family members who assisted her in her efforts to make certain that I didn't want for nothing, and I wasn't stressing too much based on my captivity. But at the same time, she was there to let me know that I do have love and someone who knows and believes in me on the outside of that gate. And also, man, I like to thank my wife. You know what I mean? She came along and lifted the burden off of my grandmother, who had been taking care of me for so long. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so she came along and told her, look, you can relax. I love him just enough to be able to make certain he don't need for nothing. I love him enough to make certain that he ain't going to be alone no more either. So wow. I thank her as well.
I hear you, man. Now, you know what, Obie, we're going to talk about this too. I mean, when you was in there, I'm sure you thought that a lot of people that you was really down with and you was cool with, when you was out on the street, how they let you down. Can you speak on that? How disappointing is that at a time like that you were going, what you were going through to turn around and nobody's there?
Man, it's a big letdown. It's because what it is, it's a shot in the face of the picture that you've painted for so many years, and then to only to step back to look at the bigger picture to realize that what you have been drawing it's not black and white, but it's spotted. And what I mean by spotted is because you have individuals and characters amongst you that never had your best interests at heart. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's only I talk to kids today about retrospect and hindsight. I say, hey, look, man, try not to let those individuals be friends of yours, because if you can avoid those individuals being friends of yours, that means then that you had the perspective to see it in the first place.
That's right. You definitely right about that, and you definitely broke it down. Now I want to ask you this, Obie. A lot of people might say, well, Obie, how did you? Some people sit back and when they hear Obie was incarcerated for 17 years. I watch people in the studio in here with me. They just close their eyes and shake their head. Some people have asked me, man, how did Obie, how did he get through that? Now you can answer that question better than me. That first year you was in there, Obie, let's talk about the adjusting. How long did it take you to adjust? I know you didn't want to adjust, but sometimes you have to adapt just to be there, to learn to play the game, to live there for those many years. Tell me about your first year in there and then walk us through real quick.
Man, my first year in the penitentiary was hectic. When I first hit the institution at Old Corcoran in Los Angeles, in California, it's up in what they call the Bakersfield or the Central Valley. The institution was on lockdown. I had no communication. I couldn't, the only one I was in communication with was my grandmother. I couldn't call her. I can only correspond with her. I had the misfortune of having a cellmate who had his personal things an array, in other words, where he had his own, he had his little things he had going on. So he wasn't too particular about being, comfortable with having cellies around. You have to that's another thing that's the issue there. You got to be mindful of that. You run into individuals who've already been there, who's already, set in their ways. And so that's another adjustment that you got to get to, because they're not thinking like people out here on the street are thinking. It's a more of a confined thinking, because it's a more of a close quarters, safety, I have to protect myself type of thinking. And so it's a survival of the fittest sort of mode. And you have to snap right into it, because if you don't snap right into it, individuals get hurt in there on a whim, or they find themselves in situations where they should have never been, based on the fact that they're trying to befriend individuals because they don't want to, they trying to get along. They don't want no problems.
Right.
It was hectic, man. It was real hectic in there that first year.
Wow. And you know what? What about times that you woke up and you just said to yourself, I can't take no more, where your mind start really playing tricks on you and you feel like you just want to scream, you want to run? I mean, I've heard so many stories, and if you could break out, you would break out. You know what I'm saying? Just the emotional things that people go through. How did you deal with those emotional times when enough is enough, but you can't do nothing but deal with it?
Man, hey, look, I have been, for whatever reasons, I don't know, but I have been pegged as like the jokester. So it wasn't as though I guess that's what got me through. So I always try to make light of things. Even when the pastor, before I had left the county jail, had remarked it to me about how much time I had gotten. He knew I was off the way to the penitentiary, and I told him, so I got life without the possibility of parole plus 50 years. And he said, he looked at me, he said, but you say that so relaxed like nothing. I said, because I said, yeah, you're right, man. I said, a couple different things going on, man. One, I know I didn't do it. Two, the Creator know I didn't do it. And three, that means then that evidently, wherever I'm going, he has an objective for me. So now I have to sit down and shut up and pay attention. So, and on my travels, I've tried to find humor even in those bad situations, or try to find light in the bad situations. So that's what I try to do, to make myself get by when I had those down days, when I got that denial. I remember when I got a denial from, I had to do my own petition for review to the California Supreme Court, and I remember getting that denial. It was one I was warned about getting, but nonetheless, when I got it, the effect was still the same. So,
wow, man, that's deep. You know what? Now, another thing, when it comes to learning how, and I got a young man on the phone right now with me, Obie. His name is Victor. He got in touch with me and Jeffrey over the weekend, and he's fighting a case right now. He's going to go to trial, and I definitely want you to talk to him and give him a little knowledge, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, I'll give him a little knowledge as much as I can,
All right. So, Victor, I want to introduce you to Mr. Obie Anthony.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm all right. How you doing?
Doing good.
All right. So, Victor, run it down to Obie again real quick, what you're going through, and, maybe he can lead you on the right road, what might be best for you. He can guide you in the direction of somebody that can help you.
All right. Well, I'm being charged with aggravated sexual assault to a child. We don't really know what to do. It's like the bond was set at $300,000 at the beginning. And then when they finally got the DNA test results back and they came back negative, they lowered it down to $25,000. And it's like, we're barely making it. My parents spend all their retirement fund on me, on trying to help me, and it's just we just really don't know what to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna reach out. I'm gonna pass along this information to you right here. Is that the organizations and the group of individuals that had gathered around me because I found myself in a situation I should have never have been. Now, you're trying not to get to that place, right?
Right.
You're fighting that right now as we speak. And right now, what you have in your benefit is DNA, right? DNA has said that, no, that is not you, right?
Right.
So now, because of that, you have in your corner, what you have in your corner is a plus. So now what do? If you feel as though that you've reached out, you and your parents have reached out, you have to now reach out to your community. You have to reach out to those individuals that had, at this junction, has sustained you at whatever level. And then at the same time, reach out to the organizations among your community. And so, where do you stay? Where are you incarcerated?
In Dallas, Texas.
Yeah. Oh man, listen. So so down in Dallas, Texas, you have down in Dallas, Texas, the district attorney down there. That's no nonsense district attorney, head district attorney down there, and he's about truth and justice. As a matter of fact, he has an integrity unit, I believe, down there, and his prosecutor's office down there. And so, and as a matter of fact, there's some organizations that's down there. Amnesty, I believe, is down there. They also have some other projects that's down there. But I say that to say this is that you have individuals that's right down amongst you, particularly when it comes to DNA, that can assist you. So I will have my family reach out to the community, hooked by this way right here. Again, you have voice by way of Cogee. Reach out to your community and ask those organizations to come to your assistance, because you have what you need. Because if put it to you this way, right? If you are not, and it sounds as though just at this point, because you say you're at an edge, you don't know what to do, that means then that you're not feeling that savvy and that comfortable with the lawyer that you have at your disposal.
Right.
And whether you have a public defender or is he a paid attorney?
He's a paid attorney.
Well, you need to instruct your attorney about specific things. Then it's specific things when it comes to his performance and so forth and so on. So you need to be very forthcoming. That was the other thing too with my new attorneys will tell you, even my old attorney, is that I was very forthcoming from the very onset about everything. It didn't matter. Look, talk to them. Go here. Go do this. Go check this out. Do this. Do this. And in other words, and check up on him. So now after you instruct him to go do certain things, to go follow up on this information right here, you then get back and say, listen, well, now I need you to see I need to see the product of your work. You need to be on him. He's a paid attorney. He's out, him and his investigators out to do the work that you have them to do. Now, if you sit back and allow for them to figure out what it is they need to do, then you can do that, but it's beneficial for you to also assist them while they're doing that at the same time.
Okay.
So let me ask you a question, Victor, real quick while I got Obie on here, because like I said, Obie, he's here to teach today, and, he's helping me and Jeffrey definitely shine a light on this whole situation. How did you get caught up in this, quick as possible? How did your name even get brought up in it, and how did you get accused of something like this? Yeah, that'll help Obie a lot more, too, the more he hear about your case.
Well, I was living with my cousin at the time, and her boyfriend would bring over these 3 kids, and he would say they were his kids, but I'm not sure. I think they were like his ex-girlfriend's kids or something. And they would come over, they would spend the night, and we knew them. I've known them for like a couple of years, and I don't know. It's like the little girl told her mom that I was the one that assaulted her. So I'm not sure how exactly my name got brought up. I'm not sure about anything really. It's like a lot of this stuff, like I'm being
a couple of different things you need to be aware of. First, if the young lady is hurling accusations in regards to you doing some inappropriate things. So now the question then at this point, first is what was the approximate? Where did these things transpire? You know what I mean?
That's right.
Where did the things transpire? Because according to you, and according to what they got going on, they only came over. They just coming over to spend a night, only on occasions, or they may come and spend a night for 2 or 3 days. So now, is it like during those 2 or 3 days that these things happen? At what point did she say? And is it a situation whether or not? Because again, kids sometimes, they want to appease the adult, right? That's what it's all about. It's they don't want to get in trouble. And it's about appeasing adults. So when they're not questioned properly by the proper individuals at the proper time, and they're not getting questioned by these proper individuals, then what happened is that those individuals could then take their statements and things that they say could be misconstrued and turned and flipped in a way in how they want them to be. Period. So that means for you, you need to find out all of those particular details. Hey, I'm gonna tell you, I'm falsely accused. When I was falsely accused, when they gave me the things that they said that they had to falsely accuse me with, I shredded it. And what I mean by shredded it, I went through it line for line,
that's right,
dot for dot, T for T. I'm looking at individuals who it didn't mean nothing because I'm figuring that they said that because they meant something. So I'm looking at everything. You have to look at everything. And in looking at everything, whatever you come across, you need to pass that information along. Because it's even in the manner how they talk to the kid and how they, where she said it's happening, how all that stuff is important for you. It's important for you. You need to know. You telling me, I don't know. So how long you been incarcerated already?
Right.
No, he said, how long were you incarcerated?
Oh, I was 7 months.
Oh, yeah. See, I mean, that's way too long for you to be incarcerated and not know what's going on with you. This is your life on the line.
Right.
Your life is on the line. And not so much as, because they talking about aggravated sexual assault to a minor, which is not a life tops down there in Texas, but it's an extensive period of time. So then you have to say to yourself, what sort of life if you don't fight for your life now, then that means that you're going to have to fight for your life when you get into a place that you don't particularly want to be.
Got that right.
You don't want to fight for your life there. You want to fight for your life now while you have an opportunity. You got gloves. You got wraps on your hands. You got coaches in your corner. Right now, you need to fight. If you don't fight now, you need to question. You need to go over everything. Because, and again, like I said, what you have in your benefit right now, but DNA.
Okay.
That's right.
You need not relax. At this point, I understand this is a reach out, what you're doing. You say, hey, look, we don't know what to do. What should we do? I don't know what to do at this point. I've done everything I could do. And I ask you, have you sat down and hammered your lawyer? Question. Have you did that? Have you done that in the 7 months? Have you drilled your lawyer that you paid, your parents, your family's paying him? Have you drilled him? Have you gotten information that you need to get out of him to make certain that he's doing what he needs to do?
No.
And see, that's not good. That's not good at all. You need to be considerate of your life and what you're going to do. So, I mean, like, if you just want to go back, if you just want to decide to just go sit down in there and say, well, look, I'll go there and have somebody there fight for me, then I'm going to tell you, you're barking up the wrong tree. Because ain't nobody going to fight for you like you, man. Nobody. Nobody at all.
And you know what, Obie? Don't too many people get back to you as quick as I got back to him when he reached out to me for this help.
Absolutely. And that's show and tell. That's saying to you that even behind those quiet walls that you're behind, those draped gates, you have reached out, and here it is. Someone has said, here, I got you. What is it? Now, you have him. You must utilize it. And I told the brother last week, man, what good is it of help coming if you don't use the help when it get there?
You got that right.
If when help get there, you say to help, I'm waiting for something else.
That's a waste of my time.
Yeah, you need to take advantage of what you got in front of you, meaning take control of your situation, know your stuff, get with your attorney, hammering. Hey, look, man, the DNA kit came back. What else is going on? Why am I still sitting here? What is this? What is that? Show me what they're talking about. You need to fight. You need to get up and fight, man. Because if you wait for people on the outside to fight, they're going to fight, but they get tired of fighting. I guarantee you, innocents never get tired.
That's right. You're definitely right about that. Now, you know what, Obie, let me tell you something. Let me say one more thing. What would you like to say? And then Jeffrey's in with us. He'll be coming in a second. You know, Obie, what would you like to say to those parents who done worked all their lives, man, and then they put their money up for the children or whoever they love to help them out of something, but the people that they help with the money ain't fighting for what those people fought for to stack that money for a later date in life, you know, for them to retire on?
Yeah, I know what you mean too, man. In other words, it's a conscious thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
They have to. It's a conscious thing. They have to. So it's a crazy thing, man. I was on my way out of the door. So after 17 years and what was that? There've been 17 years and about 6 months and some days. I heard this guy. I'm sitting on the chair on the way out of the door, and he said, "Don't let the devil captivate your thoughts. Don't let the devil captivate your thoughts." And I had said to myself, "Wow, that is amazing."
Sure is. That's real talk. Definitely.
That is amazing. Reason why is because what happens when the devil captivates your thoughts, he begins to make you see things and believe things that are not so. The Creator lets you know stuff. That's the difference between the Creator and the devil. Devil lets you believe things. The Creator show you and let you know things. Totally different, two opposites. And so then, when that happens, right? When the family members, when you see that happening within your life, know that's what's happening. Take control of the situation and say, look, man, listen, that me and the Creator, that you and your Creator, who that you believe in, stand true in fact, and that person and that entity, true, has no power over you. Stand with your loved one. Love your loved one. Remember what the Messiah said. I think that was the Messiah said, right? It said something about, did you come and visit me when I was in jail? What does that mean? He wasn't saying literally. He means to go help those who can't help themselves.
That's right.
Go see those who can't come and see you. Assist them who needs assistance. And so that means even more so when it's family. And so then when we get out after that assistance, how do we consciously move towards that, what they've been working on, which is the Creator, which is a conscious decision. You have to say to yourself, no more. You have to say certain things, man. Because when you say certain things, it brings forth that action within your members, within your body. Because you spoke it within your, first you thought it, then you spoke it, then it started moving within your body. And so you have to declare it, man. And that's what I'm telling the family members. If you declare that you're going to bring your kid home, and he's going to come home safely, and always going to come home safely, but when they come home, he's going to be productive and prosperous. Two totally different things, right? You can be productive but not prosperous.
That's right.
So you want both, right? You want both, and that individual that see all of that love, right? That's a love net. That's a love net. Huge, some small, some big, some humongous. But nonetheless, they're love nets. And when we recognize a love net, we must do everything we must do to protect that and to continue to build on that. So for the individual that's behind the gate that see that net, and then once that net catches them, when they come out, bam, continue to build on it, right? Go to school, change your thought process. Stop, consider the individuals who you were around and consider individuals who you want to be around.
That's right.
Now, I guarantee you won't be prisoners and guards.
Yeah, that's right. So what you think about that, Victor?
No, he's right. Everything he's saying.
Well, like I said, Victor, we ain't trying to be hard on you, but you need somebody to motivate you, man. What you need to understand, Victor, is your life is on the line, and they don't mind taking it. They don't mind taking it.
No, not at all.
You know what?
Not only don't know if they mind taking it. Listen, I tell you this for certain. Don't believe the propaganda that they put out there in regards to there are no more beds in the prisons. Guarantee you, they got a cot for you in a tent for you. So, irrespective, they got a place for you. Whether particularly when they get you and you're innocent and they don't want nobody to know that they got you, so they put you and they scramble you in there and they put all of the lies around you. So right now they're trying to put all the lies around you. You need to fight them lies off. You need to fight that right now as aggressively as they are fighting to put you in the place where they're trying to send you right now for a horrendous crime. That's a terrible crime to be charged with.
Yes, it is. And Obie, I'm sorry, real quick. Obie, explain to him what can happen to him going into prison with a charge on him like that, and why he should be fighting right now not to go and deal with that situation.
Listen, the reason why you should be fighting because individuals that's in the penitentiary with those sort of charges upon them, when those things become institutional knowledge, as a matter of fact, most institutions try to protect you. But even upon those PCRs where they try to protect you and try to place you at, even in those situations there, individuals begin to turn on one another. And it's because of the nature of the crime in which was committed. And that's what they say, right? That certain natures is not permissible. Like,
I hear you. You're definitely right about that. Now, let me do this real quick. Mr. Jeffrey Deskovic, how you doing today, sir?
Hey, Cogee, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Jeffrey, we got a young man on the phone, Mr. Victor. He got in touch with me and you over the weekend. I don't know if you've seen the Facebook message he sent me and you. He's fighting a crime right now. He's fighting something real terrible right now. They're trying to say that he messed with a child. He's been in jail. He's out on bond. But he felt like, you didn't get back in touch with him. And like I told him, no, either I'll get back in touch with you or Jeffrey will get back in touch with you or somebody from each one of our camps will get back in touch with him. And I got right on it, Jeffrey, for both of us. You get what I'm saying? But I'm glad
Absolutely.
you in today because, he kind of felt like, you didn't call him back. You didn't respond to his cry. So I responded to his cry. So now you can speak to him one-on-one. He's right here. And Victor, here's Jeffrey.
Okay.
Hey, Victor.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. So, I caught the tail piece of the advice that, people are giving you, definitely you got to be proactive. You got to fight to stay. You got to, make sure you stay on top of your lawyer. How is he going to fight? What is his strategy? Is he actually calling the any witnesses you may direct him to? You got to be proactive and fight hard. No one is going to fight more than you. It's a mistake to sit back and just be passive and let the lawyer do whatever he's going to do, because that's where I went wrong. Pretty much my lawyer, so many words. Settle back, son. I got this. I'm the lawyer. You're not. I've been through this many times. This is your first time at the rodeo. Just let me do my thing. You just sit back in the cut, and I'll show you how this thing comes out so good for you.
That's right.
And it came out so good for me that it took me 16 years to get home. Undo his good work.
And Jeffrey, can you give your version of if, God forbid, Victor goes into prison with this on his back, what kind of life could he be looking at every day in prison?
You would have to be concerned for your safety every day that you're in there, because you never know where it's going to come from, how many people. The guy, is it bringing a shank? Is it a razor? Is it something to clunk you over the head with? To be in prison for a sex offense is the worst possible thing to be in prison for, because a lot of people got, vigilante mentalities towards people that are convicted of sex offenses. But then even beyond that, to even go beyond that, Cogee, people, when they come home on parole, right, say if they don't get exonerated, they get wrongfully convicted, but they don't get exonerated.
Right.
And they come home on parole, right, which is the unfortunate reality for many people, because there's not a lot of entities, lawyers, and organizations that help people. And the ones that do, it's just, it's not like they got unlimited resources either. So only some people are chosen to be helped. I mean, that's just the reality of this thing financially. So to be home on parole, having a register as a sex offender, where they got your pictures, they're going to distribute your name to people in the neighborhood and address and pictures, and the guy can't be within 1,000 feet of the school district. That extremely difficult to get employment. I mean, it's a nightmare. Honestly, it's not. It's people in that situation. To me, it's if I was them, and I contemplated that when I was still wrongfully incarcerated. What would happen if I got paroled prior to being cleared, or if I couldn't get cleared? I think it's better to live in a foreign country, actually, where you don't have that stigma. Megan's Law, attached, because that ain't no kind of life, Coach.
That's right. You're definitely right about that. I mean, and you and Obie, y'all definitely broke it down, and that's why we have y'all on here. I mean, y'all are the specialists. Y'all have been through it. Y'all done overcame it, and y'all done helped so many other people to achieve their dream to get back out on the street and have a productive life. So, Victor, let me go back to Jeffrey real quick. Jeffrey, I want to say this real quick. His parents, he said they done put up all their retirement money and everything fighting his case. What does he need to do to really back it up where he don't lose? Because if he loses his case, his parents lose everything. You get what I'm saying? What's some words of encouragement for him to fight? Even if he don't have the fire and he might be a little exhausted, from fighting his case so long, why it's important to keep fighting when it comes to his parents?
Because it's bad enough. Look, it's very admirable for them to take their savings out, on behalf of your freedom. But at the same time, from a moral point of view, that's, they don't care about the money as much. They'd rather have you free. So that's why they did that. So being as though they made that type of sacrifice, right? You don't want it to be in a losing effort, right? You want to be able to, win the case. So I think that all the witness statements, all the evidence, all the police reports, ask your attorney for all that. You have a right to that. You have a right to that. And, don't get put off by fighting, well, why do you want it or whatever. Your answer is this: because I'm fighting for my life right here, and I want access to all the information that's there so that I can actively participate in my defense.
That's right.
That's your answer. Listen, don't get lulled into a false sense of security because you're home. You're only home for the minute. for the moment, right? If you lose a trial, they're gonna remand you back to jail. You being bailed out doesn't mean you're gonna win your case. I got bailed out. My bail was $50,000. I got bailed out, and I lost the trial, and I went in, and I was incarcerated for 16 years.
Right now,
so don't get lulled into your immediate circumstances of just seeing the free world around you, because that can change real fast. When it's time to rest, when the case against you is dismissed, or you've been found not guilty, that's when it's time to rest.
Yeah,
not before that.
And what was you going to say?
Only the strong survive.
That's right. Good one, Jeffrey.
I agree with him. I agree with Jeffrey 1,000 times 1,000%, man. Being out on bail means zero. The only thing that means for them is that it just makes them want to fight even harder to put you in. And not only that, but see, and I like what Cogee is pointing out again about your mom and about your dad and what they're doing for you, because that is very important. Everybody don't have that net. Remember I was telling you about that love net, man. That's right. That love net. And everybody don't have that. And sometimes in your particular situations, they have to sit in county jails in horrible situations because people find out what you're incarcerated for. They try to do harm to you. Then you have to fight for your life in there and also fight for your life in court. You'll be fighting for your life on so many different fronts. And so then out here, you've been fighting for your life out here, because now you have to prove these horrendous allegations. Again, they're horrendous that they're hurling at you, saying these type of things. And supposedly, heaven forbid that you are convicted of those things. The later onset of those things is that the possibility of your mom have to continue to pay off so they can continue to keep their home. And then two, what happens when you come home? Hey, mom, you got a bracelet on. These are things that you do not want. Reason why? Because you have an opportunity right now to do what? To get up in that ring and fight for your life, bro. You have to do that. Because if you get lackadaisy, because I'm out, the attorneys and them will get it taken care of. They're going to get this stuff figured out. Innocent people don't get convicted. I tell you this. Over 2,000 people in the United States have been wrongfully convicted for crimes they didn't commit. And over 400-something of them have been placed on death row. Now, an untold amount of individuals who have been forced and taken deals based on them false charges that have been hurled against them and fearing, oh, man, if I get found guilty of all of that, then I'm going to be all of this. And those individuals who took deals for crimes that they didn't commit because of the pressure of the possibility of them going to jail for a life tops or so forth and so on. So right now you're in a situation where you can assist those individuals who are assisting you. It's people in your community right there in Dallas, Texas, where you can reach out to. There's organizations there that you can reach out to. Again, if you feel as though that your attorney is not doing an appropriate job, you have to consider something. One is because I've been telling him everything and he ain't doing nothing, or I ain't been telling him nothing, so I can't expect nothing from him. Now, which one is it?
Right.
You know what I mean? You have to get on the ball, man. Because if you don't, again, like Jeffrey was telling you, man, like I said, I'm 1,000 times in agreement with you, man. You have to. It's your life. It is your life. Him and I both, and all the other 2,000, the rest of the exonerees has been wrongfully convicted and spent. I met a man 37 years. He spent 37 years in prison. Now he can even tell you that you got to get up and fight. But if you don't tell yourself, look, man, if I don't get up and fight Victor, I got to get up, Vic. Get up. This is enough. Is enough. They didn't hurl these things at me way too long. I got to get up, go find out what's going on with this stuff over here. You got to do your own thing. You out and free, so you got to fight too, man.
And then on top of that, his court. When is your court case, Victor?
The pretrial is set on June the 6th, and the trial is set starting July 7th.
Man, you got to move fast.
Yeah, see, they make haste. They don't make haste. Remember last week, Coach, I said wrong couples with wrong to do wrong, right?
Yep, yes, you did.
I said, why don't right couple with right to do the right?
That's right.
And so, Vic, you did the right thing. You reached out. So what did Cogee do? He did the right thing. He reached out. I know some brothers that are making this issue to help you, to get you, point you in some directions. Bam. Now, it's back to you to do the right thing. The accusations against you, so you have to fight. You didn't commit this horrendous crime. If you didn't touch that little girl, those things did not happen. And if you and the Creator know, the Creator can only motivate you to get up and fight. He can't come down here and pick the sword up and stand in the courtroom. You got to speak for him. You got to let him speak through you. So you got to connect, man.
That's right.
So listen, the other thing we should do is, we should talk off air too. I asked you once for your number. You didn't send it. Send it. There ain't but so much we could say on the air either.
Right, because we can't tell everything and say everything on the air.
Right.
Some things are very.
Remember, there's a public forum. There's some other more in-depth things I want to ask, and I might be able to give you some particular advice. I mean, things I wouldn't want you to say on the air. So, send me a number. We'll chat. If I can give you some pointers, some stuff from my experience, and from other cases, wrongful conviction cases I've studied and seen how people were cleared. I mean, I can share with you some of that analysis and try to head things off before it gets to that point. But I'll tell you, it's easy to get convicted, but very, very hard to exonerate.
That's right. And you know what? I just want to say for real, hold on 1 second. We down to 5 minutes, but I also want to tell anybody who gets in touch with me, Jeffrey, Obie, or anybody who's dealing with a legal situation, we are very busy. Our time, we have no time to play. We have no time to go around a circle and what's going on. Whenever y'all getting in touch with us, please, be very prompt in doing it. But also tell us the whole truth when you write us and tell us something so we can guide you real quick. Even if we can't talk to you, we can shoot you a number real quick and say, hey, tell them Cogee sent you. Tell them Obie sent you. Tell them Jeffrey sent you. See, sometimes we can't make it personal like this. You just got lucky, Victor, right now that I happen to be doing this show. Obie happened to be lined up on it. And Jeffrey, he's with me all the time. But God really blessed you today with this triangle that you got. So, I need you to really, stand strong. Like Obie said, if you didn't do it, man, you got to fight for your life. You got to prove to whoever I didn't do it, and you got to stay free. And, man, you got to honor your parents with what they done for you. They gave you that love net. They put it out there. Man, you got to stand up and represent.
Man.
Only you know the truth. We don't know the truth, but you know the real truth. Now, you remember when I talked to you earlier today on the phone, I said, I'm going to say this to you, and I mean no disrespect. If you did this and you know in your heart you did this is a waste of time for me. You get what I'm saying? Because if you get caught up that you lying and the judge know you came through all these resources of me, Obie, and Jeffrey, and you get convicted and he know you played with us and you was really trying to finagle your way out of something you done, you're going to get the book slammed at you. Am I right or wrong, fellas?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if you're guilty, the best thing to do in that situation, you got to get your lawyer to get you the best possible deal to try to, minimize, your prison stay. But a lot of people, that are guilty, they get stubborn. They get stubborn and I think they can beat the system. And the end result, you wind up doing double, triple, or quadruple the time than if they did, pursue a deal.
So
couple of things. Let me Cogee, if I can. Let me tell you something very quick. Vic.
Okay, real quick, because we down to 3 minutes.
Victor,
real quick.
Because we down to 3 minutes, Victor. But understand something. Like I told the preacher that came and sat down with me before I left. Only I and the Creator know that I didn't do it. Only you and the Creator know that if you did it or not. People is hurting, and there's people that on both sides are hurting. So you need to stop. You need to stop the hurting. And the only way you can stop the hurting on your side is to get up and fight, bro. And it's going to help them to stop on the other side because they're going to find out who did it.
That's right. And Victor, when I talked to you today, I said, please don't be mad at Jeffrey because he's very busy. I know this for a fact. That's why I jumped in and took the call and took, what you wrote me. But one thing I'm saying, when I said all that to you and to everybody who's listening on the radio, in no way, shape, or form am I saying that Victor's guilty. That is not what I was saying. All I was saying was that he really knows the truth. If he didn't do it, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he gonna fight like hell. But if something happened where something happened, like Jeffrey said, you got to get a lawyer and put yourself in a good position to, get the best deal for you that you can get out of that. We just got to keep it real on this show because we go through so much. But if everybody can hold on, I guess my next guest in the third hour said he's going to be a little late. We can cross over and finish this up for a few minutes. Obie, I know you're on short time. Jeffrey, I know you got a lot to tell us also. But is that okay with everybody?
Yes, sir.
All right. So All right, so we'll be right back in. Everybody stay locked in, stay tuned in. I hope y'all got y'all pens and paper and y'all definitely writing down this great information. This is I've Been Falsely Accused, Part 16 with Cogee and Mr. Jeffrey Deskovic, and we'll be right back. This is the I've Been Falsely Accused radio show.